What's up, peeps? It's me, B, once again coming to you from Iceberg Investment Foundation. Today I just want to get on here and answer a few questions. I'm not getting as many questions as we was getting. I don't know if my answers are just too boring or if I'm not giving y'all the answers y'all want. But anyway, I'm just keeping it 100 every time uh, I get asked these questions. So really today all I had was two questions, and they were, what does it take to be a car seller? And what's better, policing or car selling? So, get right into it. What does it take to be a car salesman or to sell cars? That's actually two different questions. Your question was, what does it take to be a car seller? Um, it depends on what kind of car salesperson you want to be. If you want to sell for yourself, it could take a number of things, just depending on how you want to go about doing it. As you know, you can go to Montgomery and get your um, dealer's license, which I went over in the previous video. It's not just when you go get your dealer's license, you're not just getting a dealer's license. That's just the beginning. You then have to get your state license, county license, and city license, just depending on if you live in the county or city. And you also have to get a tax ID number, garage insurance, and that's just to get started. Then you gotta buy your inventory. Then you gotta worry about upkeep, et cetera, et cetera. So if you want to go that route to have your own dealer lot, I guess you would call it, you can go that route. Um, so that's what it takes to go that route. But if you want to be what I am, an auto broker, you can sell cars from your front yard, or you could just get a little rent a lot, get a lot, um, and sell cars that way without so much of the overhead. Either way, you're gonna have bills, but it'll, to do it without having to go through the trouble of getting a dealer license, you don't have to worry about all those upfront fees. The dealer's license itself went with $10 back when I got mine. I don't know what it is now, but you gotta get the dealer's license if you're gonna be a dealer or have a dealer's license. You gotta get that. You gotta get all the other licenses and the insurance. It ends up being around $5,000 to be a to get a dealer's license, not including your dealer tags and transit tags, and not including your inventory, of course. So you really, to get started that route, you need probably about, to be on the safe side, I'd say at least $15,000. That's just to get started with a few cars. You really need about 20 something thousand, 20,000, 22,000, somewhere in there, if you're gonna go to dealer's license route. Because your first five is gonna be just getting started. The first 4 or 5, just getting all your paperwork together. Um, let's go to broker route. Me personally, I just started out with a few, like five, wasn't even $5,000 quite. I think it was like 4,000, maybe right at $4,000, something like that. And I just kept rolling that, just kept flipping cars to get where I'm at. But to me, I've done it both ways. I've done it the dealer license way, now I'm doing it the broker way, and it's just so much easier, in my opinion, to just do the broker method. But everybody teaches their own. Everybody has their own reasons and methods why they do what they do. But that's my take on it, of what it takes to be a car seller. It also takes, even on the broker side, like me personally, and even in dealerships, I know, and just about anybody that's serious about selling cars, they buy inventory. They buy not just inventory. They buy. You gotta have your drive off tags. You gotta have like shirts for your employees or yourself or your customer, clients, whatever you want to call them, uh, etc. It goes on and on. But you're gonna have to buy stuff as you go. Like when you sell a car, you didn't just sell that car. You make profit, yeah, but you also got to calculate in what you got to put back into the business. You're going to have to go back and buy gas for your cars, batteries, whatever they need. Um, those things are constant because batteries are constantly going dead. You're always going to be putting gas and changing oil and stuff like that in your buying cars. And of course, your shirts and stuff like that. I mean, all that costs money. You got to calculate all that in. You can't just say, I sold a car and not calculate in the little things, because you may think you're making profit. And then in the long run, you're not making no profit for real. You just think you are. You just make yourself feel good because you sold a car here and there. But you gotta calculate. You gotta have a budget sheet. Work your budget sheet. I went over that before, but you gotta keep up with every little expense, every gain, and everything you put out. You gotta keep up with all of it. So I hope that covers that. I hope I ain't boring you too much. So we'll move on to what's better, policing or selling cars. And I can only base this off of my experience. And to me, it's a toss up, really. I'm, I like me personally. I like making money, and overall, it's right. We're just into the tax season, so and I just started BNU auto sales at tax season. So Um, at the moment, selling cars is making more money, and I like money. So at the moment, this is a little bit funner. But I put policing before it always because policing is really important. Getting people in dependable vehicles for them and their families is very important as well. But policing, my job, I take very seriously. I consider myself the watchman over people while you're trying to rest at home, sleeping, or at work, whatever you're doing. I'm the one that's responsible for keeping you safe, and I take that very serious. So I take policing seriously as I take selling cars serious, but it's two different things. And what's crazy is they're very similar because they both involve dealing with the public. They both involve helping people, and selling cars. Sometimes you have to convince people what's best for them. Sometimes they think they need to be in a $5,000 car when all they have is $5,000. But I may have a car over here that runs good, just don't look as good as that $5,000 car, and it may be better off you being in that car instead of trying to keep up the Joneses or whatever and getting the more expensive car just because of the looks of it or whatever. Um, just things like that. Especially if you work at a big car lot, you really gotta kind of help people, persuade people to make the better decision. Sometimes it's not the decision they want to make, and it may cause you a car deal too, trying to do that. But and when it comes to policing, a lot of times we show up and people are arguing, fighting, and we're to be the peacekeepers. Yeah, I think it's better to try the persuasion method first, try to talk it out, use as less force as possible, of course. So, both of them kind of go hand in hand. They have a lot in common. And, but to me, the funnest one, um, or the best, let's see, what's better, policing or selling cars or car selling? Uh, in my opinion, like I say, it goes back and forth. Right now, selling cars is fun because we're in tax season. You get that adrenaline every time you sell a car or help somebody out, and to see the excitement on their face, that excitement feeds through you and gets your adrenaline going. It's an adrenaline rush of itself, especially when you have a day where you sell 3 cars on the road. Um, Anybody out there that sells cars knows what I'm talking about. They call that the hat trick, and that gets your adrenaline pumping too. So that pumps your adrenaline. When you're on your way to a hot call, knowing somebody's in danger or whatever, that pumps your adrenaline too. It takes a special breed of person to be a police officer. It takes a special breed of person to be a car salesman, but in my opinion, it takes a calling to be a police officer. That's the biggest difference. Um, so when you're on your way to a call, instead of worrying about the fear you may have, you may feed off of it. It gets your adrenaline pumping. And if you're a car salesman or a police officer, um, you kind of you. I mean, you gotta really like the adrenaline. I mean, I hate to put it that way because some people might take it out of context, but you're kind of an adrenaline junkie, and um, you need that. You need to be. You need that to get in the zone where you need to be to where you can help people, especially as a police officer. So I know that was a wishy-washy answer on the last question, but that's just how I feel. Some days car selling's better, some days policing's better. But overall, they're both, I think, good professions, just depending on how you go about it. Where you live has a lot to do with it because some places may not pay as much as other places as far as selling cars or policing. In Walker County, I happen to work for the highest paying department at Dora, so I'm very fortunate there. But as you know, it ain't all about the money. It's a calling to be a police officer, in my opinion. I'd say 95%, probably about 98% of police officers I know are in it for a calling. There's very few that slip through the cracks and do it for other reasons. But Most of us, when it comes to police work, we it chose us. We didn't necessarily choose it. It's something that once it gets in your blood, if you're really all about it, it's hard to walk away from it. Because I actually tried to when I got the car business, and I started missing it. So I got back in it, and I'm glad I did. But either way, like I said, they're both good professions. It's all about what you make of it, and how you feel about it. I hope that answers your questions. Hope I didn't bore you too much. Next next video, we're going to try to be out doing some things. Also want to go again and say thanks for the pickup on sales again. I know I probably say it every time I get on here, but the shirt sales have been through the roof lately, and I'm completely out of shirts. In the process of getting them out now. The thin blue line shirts are coming back. Just bear with me. It's gonna take me a little bit, but it won't take long at all though. Just give me a minute. They'll be back out. They'll be back out in the stores, and we'll have them back up on the Facebook page for sale. I completely sold out before I knew it, but we're out of the shirts. We're basically out of the hats, and I don't know if we're gonna redo the hats. So unless it's a special order, I'm really not planning on remaking any hats. They took a little bit longer than I thought they would to sell, and they're a little expensive to make. So the thin blue line shirts will be back soon. You can get those on our Facebook page as soon as they're out. The B&U Auto Sales shirts are out, so you can get those if you want to support us by buying a shirt. I think they're on like $12 right now, 12 or maybe $14 the most. We got our new business cards are coming out, and on those cards, on the back side, they will actually have a $2 coupon for a Tactical Advantage shirt. So if you have a card, it's actually worth $2 for you to hold on to that card. If it's a B&U Auto Sales shirt card, or I'm sorry, a B&U's Auto Sales card, my business card. If you get one, you might want to hold on to it because it's worth $2 towards a shirt from Tactical Advantage. So we're trying to tie everything in together. Under Iceberg Investment Foundation, you have Tactical Advantage, and you got B&U Auto Sales under the umbrella of Iceberg Investment Foundation. Because Iceberg is where I initially got my license for. So both companies fall under Iceberg Investment Foundation. But anyhow, that's all I had to say today. Give me some more questions. That's the last two questions I got, and I need more questions so I can help make more videos like this. So don't be shy if you have questions. Comment below. Anything about police work, anything about Tactical Advantage, anything about B&U Auto Sales, or just selling vehicles in general, or business questions, anything like that. Comment below. Comment on our Facebook page, however you want to do it. Just give me some questions. I appreciate your help, appreciate your support, and I hope you and yours continue to be blessed.